Hi everyone, welcome to the MasterCard Virtual Press Lounge. My name is Mark Walker and I'm the Editorial Director for the FinTech Times, a global multimedia news outlet centered around the world's first leading FinTech newspaper. It's great to have Lana with us today, Strategic Advisor and Independent Speaker. Welcome, Lana.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be here today.
Thanks very much. So it'd be really good if you could maybe start off with telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. I'm a strategic advisor and independent speaker. I'm scientist by education, strategist by experience, and visionary by heart. And I spent the last few decades in banking, financial services, and payments industry globally. Had a number of executive roles with well-known international brands, Lloyds, Barclays, Experian, Toronto Dominion, KPMG. I am experienced net mentoring and advising emerging businesses to help their new creative ideas to strive and grow. I also had the privilege to lead and contribute to the industry-led transformational changes in UK and globally, such as UK payment strategy, open banking, open data, and open finance, and enhancing global cross-border payments. I'm really passionate about evolution and progress we are making in the UK, leading and developing digital economy. And most recently, I dedicated a lot of my time and really enjoyed working with industry pioneers, veterans, as well as regulators to help to shape and create future strategies for UK digital economy. My personal mission is to make this world a better place. So I am joining PAY360 as independent speaker. And on the day one of the conference, I'm chairing all-star panel discussion with industry pioneers, very ambitious one, Rails Bank and GPS, as well as market veterans such as NatWest and HSBC.
Wow, interesting. I think that's going to be a really interesting debate. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you grill. I think it's Nigel that's going to be on the panel for Rails Bank and Joanna. So you've obviously got a massive wealth of experience in the payments industry. Could you perhaps give us a bit of your thoughts on how the COVID pandemic has affected the payments industry?
COVID definitely introduced a challenge on a global scale, a challenge that our generation hasn't seen before. And of course, it's from the health perspective and how to fight a global pandemic, but also from the economy perspective and recovery from the crisis. And so I am actually very positively influenced by some of the reactions of the industry and payments community on that. To start with, definitely the consensus and agreement on a main point, which is every day counts. Every day lost will make it more difficult to respond to the economic crisis. And complacency and inertia never helped our ancestors to drive forward. So the conclusion and agreement on that point, and therefore response to that from community, from payments industry, was phenomenal. And some of it not necessarily digital or technical, some of it is very cultural. So COVID and crisis from COVID introduced sense of urgency, action, ownership, the willpower, the positive energy, and emergence of creative ideas that I've been observing, to me was extraordinary. And this is not the first crisis, unfortunately, that I was living and breathing in my life. So it definitely, I could see how we learn from the past to taking on the future. And collaboration to work on a common goals, internally within organizations, as well as externally within community. And of course, taking advantage of some of the technological tools and moving forward with digital space. Things like moving boardrooms to Zoom calls, making decisions quicker, prioritizing most important tasks and services, stepping up and leaning on each other, again, internally and across the industry. Those, I think, were very positive behaviors and trends that I'm seeing. And I would like to think that we'll continue this way, because that's the only way for us to get out of it. Of course, there is also an element of the digitization and innovation across industry, for businesses, for consumers, and basically focusing on two main challenges. One, how to serve the customer in that online world in a better way, how to protect customer, how to give a better option, how to reach to the right customers, and financial inclusion is becoming quite critical in that space. But also from businesses' perspective, how the businesses could take advantages of the new business models and new technology tools to manage the productivity and the cost-income ratios that continues to be a challenge for quite a few players in the payments industry.
Excellent. So while we're talking about sort of the EPA and Pay360, obviously we're currently being watched by people in a virtual MasterCard press lounge. What are your thoughts about sort of virtual exhibitions and the role that conferences and exhibitions will play in the future?
It's a very good question. I didn't stop supporting conferences since beginning of March, and most of them were in the virtual rooms. And so I was impressed how conference professionals very quickly, efficiently transitioned to these digital platforms. And it was great to see the positive energy and drive and richness of the content of those events. I think thought leadership, collaboration, and creation of new solutions to old problems are especially critical at the times of crisis. So virtual exhibitions are definitely playing an important and helpful role for us to continue this way, especially as we're still finding the treatments of the disease, still looking to create a proven vaccine against COVID, and still operating in social distances and some countries in lockdown. So having an option to engage virtually with like-minded professionals to continue to evolve, continue to progress, continue creating ideas and exchanging experiences is very important. Of course, digital platform doesn't replace the physical presence. So the interactions in person and network opportunities are still missed in the virtual world. So I'm hoping that in the near future, we'll have opportunity to combine both. The other element of an opportunity of digital platform, it has a global reach. It's much easier to achieve the international coverage. And again, with the global pandemic, it's important to learn those lessons from different jurisdictions, from different environments. So that's definitely opportunity. And to me, it's great. We were forced to that. I don't think that's the only way forward. I think the way forward is a combination of two, but it's great to have this option as one of the options.
Wonderful, excellent. So we're coming to the end now, so I've got time just for one last question. Really sort of thinking about what do you see as the key trends in the payment industry at the moment, and how do you see that moving into the future of payments?
We have lots going on in payments. In UK, we have retail and wholesale payments infrastructure upgrades, the NPA and our TGS renewal programs. We are progressing with open banking evolution, and this year roadmap includes a number of payments capabilities in this new ecosystem. Internationally, we have Payment Service Directive 2 progressing in Europe, SWIFT strategic infrastructure upgrade, and ISO 2022 bringing enhanced transparency to payments transactions. And in July, we also had a CPMI issued its report on building blocks of global roadmap for enhancing cross-border payments. The work I had the personal privilege to contribute to, and very proud piece of strategic work internationally. So all these important developments help to drive innovation and enable creation of new emerging solutions in the payment space, from infrastructure to the services to creation new payments products for the end customers. So future of payments in 2021 and beyond, I think it's very exciting. And we have a green field of opportunities. We have a lot of creative and brave minds to grab those opportunities. So I think using of modern technology and new business models gives us a great variety of options to create new solutions and enable new partnerships, new relationships for the benefits of the end customer. At the moment, and I can see changing, we are experiencing quite different trends to what our previous generations had. The customer cohorts and their needs are becoming increasingly diverse. So with life expectancy increasing, with kids growing up faster, with more options available, with a global sort of reach and learning through the web and internet from different locations and jurisdictions. So in this environment, providing legal land playgrounds with their dynamic flexibility feels the most natural way to serve these diverse needs of the customers with various partnerships and various relationships in the ecosystem, bringing some of the traditional financial services such as payments to some of the other core services when we're buying the some products and servicing online or in shops, or getting our travel tickets or paying our regular bills, bringing those two sort of corporate brands and the payment and financial services together, becoming much more possible and more kind of a seemingly experience for customers, as well as with higher level of protection. But at the same time, as the emerging financial services landscape and digital tools offer us opportunities to create these new solutions, to create these new services and new partnerships, they also introduce a new inherent risks that we didn't know of before, risks that we perhaps don't understand yet. So that includes adequate customer protections through new payment channels, fraud and financial crime prevention, adequate security and resilience of the existing and new payment channels. So I think as the industry and as a community, we have a collective responsibility to nurture creation of these new solutions, new ideas, and new relationships, as well as managing those risks very responsibly.
Fantastic. It sounds like we have a very interesting future ahead of us in payments. Thank you very much, Lana, for joining us in the MasterCard Virtual Press Lounge. I hope you have a very good rest of your day.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Great to be here.